Okay guys, so today is going to be a little bit of a different video. I know I say this a lot, but today's just going to be a compilation of completely random stuff that I've filmed. It just hasn't been really long enough for a video. So yeah, we've got a bit of a random projects video today. So to add to our random projects list, I did lose a lot of footage regarding the painting of the leg, putting all that sort of stuff on the outboard, the hydrofoil, putting all the prop on. I still have to put a second clear coat on the leg, so we'll be might get to film that, but probably most likely not. But as you can see, yeah, she's looking pretty dang snick now with the leg fitted. So yeah, once that second clear coat's on, should be able to take it out in the water, go fishing, give it a bit of a spin, see how it goes. But yeah, cue the random videos. Rightio, first video on the list, service this beast. So this is a Suzuki JR80, really great motorbike. I've ridden this since I was a kid. I still do, I really love it. Now my sister has moved up to this, so she's riding it now. She's learning manual and getting a bit of a feel for two strokes, which is good. I think every person who wants to ride a motorcycle should get straight into two strokes and always get straight into manuals, because it'll just make your driving test a whole lot easier, and you'll get a feel for a different kind of engine, because a two-stroke has a different feel to a four-stroke like that Yamaha out there. So yeah, it's a little bit different to ride. They take a little bit more to get going, but their top end power is a lot more than a four-stroke, and it can catch you out if you've ever had power band happen. So yeah, anyway, service we need to do on it today is pretty simple. Just drop our gearbox oil out, change that. I'll have to check the oil in the reservoir, because obviously this is a two-stroke, so we have a separate reservoir. Be mindful that some older bikes don't have this. Older bikes usually will have the fuel tank, but you have to mix the petrol in there with the oil. So they don't have this separate VRO, which is variable ratio oiler, if you're wondering. And that's basically a separate tank which puts the right amount of oil mixture in with the petrol. So we will be checking that, obviously doing our gearbox oil, or bottom end oil. I think I need to check the chain slop. I'll recheck over the brakes, but it hasn't been too long since I actually tightened all them up, so all these feel pretty good. I think I need to loosen the clutch off just a little bit. It's right up against the bar, so we'll have to loosen that off. Obviously make sure it's got a full tank of fuel, check our tyre pressures, a couple of little other jobs, but yeah, it should be a pretty easy service on that. Just tighten that right back up. Ooh, yeah. There we go. Now we'll just do that up, nice and firm. It's pretty good. One last wipe over. Right, now we're ready to fill it up with new oil. Right, all we're putting back in it, sorry, is just 650 mils of 10W40. So I'll just shove that in there now. Rightio. That will be beautiful. 10mm extension and our 10mm socket. Oh, you're joking. Well, it's the first time I've done that. I haven't done a bloody plug and the socket's just gone into the oil somewhere. Right there. That's beautiful. You just gotta have a laugh when that happens. Now I've got to find a rag to bloody wipe the bugger off. Oh well, the level plug's loose, so that's all we blooming needed. So we'll leave that there to come out. Now I'm guessing we'll have to tip it up level. So yeah. Yeah, it's coming out. It's coming up to the thread, so I don't want to lose all my oil. So, but yeah, that was coming out. I hadn't even got it to the level yet, and it was starting to parade on out the thread. So we'll leave it at that. Now to check our tyre pressure. We've got to check the oil level in here too. It's another job, which we need the 10mm socket for, which is falling in the oil, unfortunately. Just wipe that over. Go. Beautiful. Okay, now we'll just dump this old oil and we'll do our next jobs. Righto, so we've got the seat off now, so we'll just check our oil real quick. It's a little bit down. I might put a little bit more oil in it, just to be on the safe side. You kind of don't want to run out of oil, even though it's tanks like goes way down. May as well just fill it up anyway, give a little bit more. But yeah, do that and then we'll move into the chain. Rightio, so to do our chain tension, we need a couple of tools. We need a 17mm spanner, 10mm spanner, a set of pliers, or in this case I just got my Cobra ES's, and I've also got a pliers wrench for the bolt here. Now, we need the pliers to undo this split pin, 17mm spanner to undo our locking nut for the back wheel, 10mm spanner to adjust our pullers for the rear axle on each side, and our pliers wrench to hold the bolt here in place whilst we are fiddling with this nut here. So we'll get to that and we'll adjust this tension. Rightio. First things first, as I said, got to move this split pin, so we'll use the pliers for that. This split pin is not going straight, so I'm going to make it go straight. Looks like the nuts sort of moved as well. There we go. That's exactly why I bought these Cobra ES's. They just crap all over other pliers. Really, really good set of well, I say it's like multi-function sort of pliers. They can do pretty much everything, really. So we've got our pliers wrench on the bolt, 17mm spanner on the nut. Loosen that off, just a hair. We don't want to loosen it off too much. That'll be good, just finger tight. 10mm spanner. Now, count the amount of revolutions I do, and we'll do the same to the other wheel, so the wheel, or the whole axle goes in straight, alright? Now I'll go one turn on this side, one turn on this side, bolt might need to be released a little bit. There we go. Now another turn on this side. Constantly feeling that chain tension, making sure not to turn too much. A turn on that side, one turn on this side. That chain's getting pretty tight now, which is good. Last turn on this side. Right, I reckon we'll back it off a quarter of a turn on either side. That there feels really, really good. Now what we're going to do, we'll put some lanolin on that chain, roll it around a bit. Or actually, before we do that, we should probably do up these nuts. That would be probably good. Do up them. We'll put our lanolin on the chain, roll it around a bit to get the lanolin all soaked in. And then, yeah, go from there. So again, do up this chain, this bolt, just let it go a little bit loose, pop our split pin back in. Obviously replace this if you need to. This one's been a bit stubborn, unfortunately. There we go, it's coming through now. There we are. Beautiful. What I'm gonna do, just bend this here up. This one wasn't bent up over. I like to bend them up and over. Just keeps them from coming off. It's also a nice, bit more cleaner finish if you bend the split pin up and over the nut. It just looks much more cleaner than the split pin just being split apart on the bottom, if you know what I mean. Alright, now our chain is relatively tight. It's not going to fall off. Well, hopefully it's not going to fall off. So what we'll do is we'll grab our lanolin. Looks like we'll just be using this stuff then. Can't find the lanolin anywhere, so that stuff seems to be working pretty good. And now what we've got to do is just hold the bike up, spray a bit everywhere. And then just roll our chain around. That's good. All right. Rightio. So the last thing I've got to do is see if I can adjust this throttle. So we'll just take this set screw off the top. Won't lose that. I think this just slides off. Yep, that will slide straight off by the looks. Sweet. Now I can actually adjust it, which is awesome. By the looks, it's just this threaded collar here. So all I have to do by the looks is just undo that and pull it out, which seems pretty simple. It should be, in theory. So what we're going to have to do, get ourselves a 12mm spinner. I think that's what it is. Yes, that's a 12mm spinner. That's good. We'll have to start it up. Put our fuel on. go. So the JR80 is now officially ready to ride. Rightio. Next project that we need to do is, you might remember this little outboard. It's the first outboard that I ever featured on my channel. This is the Suzuki DT 3.5. Now, I still really love this outboard, and the time has come for the impeller to be changed, because it's had the same impeller in it since I bought it. Well, not bought it, I acquired it. So yeah, needs a new one of them, which shouldn't be a hard job. It's actually really easy to change the impeller on this. It's only 2 bolts, one on the bottom here, and there's a little nut behind this little stainless cover. That's the whole leg dropped. I think I had to put it in forwards, and then there's a little collar in here you have to undo the nut from, or the bolt. I can't remember what it is. I think it's a bolt. And then the whole leg just drops straight off and gives you access to the impeller housing. So we'll do that now. If memory serves me correctly, I believe this bolt under here is a 12mm. Yes, it is. There we go. Loosen that. Loosen this stainless cover off. This thing is so annoying sometimes. Sometimes it just doesn't want to come off. But yeah, now we'll take this little 10mm nut off the bottom, as well as the little washer that comes with it. There we go. Stainless collar with it. Our bolt out eventually. There goes our bolt. Got our 10mm spanner, an extension. Oh, sorry, 10mm socket. Now then we just have to push this down. Yep, that's it. Pull it down slowly. And then this little cap here comes out. I believe now what we have to do is re-engage it in gear like so. There we go. Then that gives us access to our little securing bolt, which we can undo. And the whole leg should just drop out like that. There you go. I think I did that in 3 minutes. Now all we have to do that here. Put our impeller housing. Pretty simple. Take that off. Just a simple 3 bolts. I don't have to do this 4th one because that doesn't come off with the impeller housing, I should say. So yeah, just these 3 buggers. Try not to lose them. Might just pop them up there for now. We'll see what our impeller looks like. Looks like the grommet for the top of the impeller housing has gone somewhere. Somewhere that I don't know. But that's okay. We'll be able to find it. Alright, so there's our 3 bolts. Now impeller housing. And straight out the get-go, as our Woodruff key. Don't want to lose that because that does not come in the new kit. Pull our impeller off. The impeller actually doesn't look that bad. It's a little bit worn, but yeah, it's definitely still usable. Leave that there. So yeah, that's what our impeller looks like. Try and fish it out of here. It's still got pliable fins on it. Maybe they just don't have enough pressure to pump water. Who knows? Maybe that grommet is the reason that our problems have occurred. The grommet doesn't seem to want to come off, which is no good. That is, yeah, no bueno. No bueno. There we go. Now the grommet's come off. Here's our little grommet. It appears to have shit its little teat off, which is very annoying. But yeah, there we go. There's our little grommet. Back into its bit of housing where it's supposed to go. Rightio, here's our new impeller, genuine, and our rubber grease. This is a thing that's often missed when you put an impeller in. If you ever put an impeller in to an outboard, you have to remember to put some form of grease, whether it be rubber grease, regular agricultural grease. Doesn't really matter, it just has to be greased. So, good thing is our impellers are, there goes the old one. Impellers are very much the same. That's always a great thing. Okay, so what we're going to do now, grease up our impeller, grease up our housing, and then we'll put it all back together. Righty, so our new impeller is now fitted to our shaft. We've got our key in there, it's nice and greased. Our little cup is also nice and greased. So we can put the cup here back onto the housing, like so. Now, sitting on the impeller. What we have to do now, this shaft, we go over to the motor, take our cowling off. Usually it's clockwise, but I always like to check just in case. Pull the cowl off, and what I like to do is just pull the motor over and watch which way the flywheel turns. So as you can see, our flywheel is turning that way, so clockwise. So what we need to do with this shaft is we need to turn that clockwise and press our impeller housing down onto the impeller. What that'll do is it will seat the impeller in the housing. You don't want to turn this shaft the wrong way, because what will happen when you start the motor is it'll turn quickly the other way and it'll do all sorts of damage. You might get away with it, the fins might correct themselves and go the correct way, but I would not take any chances, as I would not want any fins breaking off in that impeller, especially on a new one. Alright, so simply with our shaft, what we're going to do is turn it clockwise and press down on the housing. See how the impeller just went boom, straight in there? Not only was that because of the grease we used, but also because we pressed down lightly and gently as we put the housing onto the impeller. So now we do, get all that crap out of the way, we fit our nuts back up, or our securing nuts for the impeller housing. Because this is not a replaceable housing, or it doesn't have a replaceable cup on the inside, we're just going to reuse the housing. I'm yet to find a online source or a place that will actually source these new. At the moment I'm just going to keep this old one because I did replace the seal in the top housing not that long ago. I kind of want to get my money's worth out of it before I replace this impeller housing. Probably won't be using this outboard too much anymore. I'll still be using it. I would love to keep this motor as a little kicker motor because it's very reliable. It might take a couple of pulls to get it started, but every time I've taken this motor out, it has always gotten me home. So yeah, I'm going to keep using this, or try to keep using it as much as I can, because I really like it. It's a really, really reliable little motor. Okay, now let's see how long does it take me to get this leg back on. One thing I should mention, the top of this shaft here, whilst we have the rubber grease out, I'm also going to put a little bit of grease onto that. You should always grease this shaft when you put it back in, as I've seen a lot of unfortunate people who have had to deal with idiots who have not greased this shaft. Put the shaft back in and over time it's seized. So you don't want that on this outboard. So I'll do a little bit of grease all around it just so it doesn't seize up in our little way there. Now we have to do is we have to locate the little hole. There's a little shaft hole up here that I've got. There we go. It's pretty easily found. I just have to also locate the engine oil. There we go. Right, so it looks like it's successfully found its home. It's probably going to take me longer to do this because of that. Time our shift fork up. I've got lots of grease over me here now. Beautiful. Okay, we'll do, we'll bring that down, put our little catch in, our little cover, gauge it back in neutral. Okay. This one. Beautiful. Right, pack our tools up, drop it in this water here, and give it a go. Rightio. So, unfortunately for me, it's raining pretty good, so I'll have to try and beat the weather today. Got our fuel on. We'll just let that go down to the carb now and fill that up. We'll now throttle up just a little bit. And we'll see how long it takes to start, because it's actually been a little bit since this was last started, which is just beautiful. It means I'm going to be stuck here for a bit. that seems to be going pretty good. It's not getting overly hot, which is great. So yeah, I reckon the impeller change is giving it a bit of extra life.